Hi, I'm Vern, the Communication Channel Manager, in short, Media Manager for Unilever Malaysia and Singapore. I still can recall when I first joined ABC, was appointed by MAA, the Malaysian Advertisers Association Board. Not knowing much about ABC, because Unilever traditionally don't spend a lot on print, but it's so interesting, it's such an interesting journey when I first get in touch with ABC. It was Datuk Vincent Lee then, under 4As, who was the chairman of ABC. As mentioned, not knowing much about ABC, I was purely out of obligation to attend all the monthly meetings, and what I recall very well was it was such an early meeting, morning meeting at 8:30 a.m. For me, it was quite a struggle. But I see the passion people behind it who attend the meeting on time. I started finding it very interesting and wanting to find out more about what ABC is. And to the contrary, and to my own misperception, ABC actually does a lot of things beyond just the print media that we are solely into at this point of time. And how I started all this discovery was because ABC has come to a point where people are heavily questioning the relevance of ABC. For an organization who existed for 30 over years, since 1975, I'm sure there is a valid reason for the existence of ABC. So I started checking out a lot more, reading through all the data, all the past documents ABC has. And more importantly, because I was tasked to revamp ABC. After Ms. Margaret Aoyong of Aegis Media took over from Datuk Vincent Lee, and then in 2010, I was the Vice Chairman of ABC. So assuming a position, such a leadership role, big position for the industry, I need to do something. I can't be just sitting around looking pretty and not doing anything, right? So from those discovery and checking and trying to find a solution for ABC, allow me the opportunity to really deep dive into what ABC is all about, and therefore lead us to coming out with a new vision for ABC in mid-2011, which is last year. So that was how the journey started. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole journey because it's such a big learning curve. And the encouragement that we keep receiving for the last 2 years was so overwhelming that one will never be able to step back and relax and just say that let this boat sail. We have to do something about it. So it's no exaggeration to say that ABC has come to a point of make or break. And along our way, we have done quite a number of things, from the very basic things of just having a pair of listening ears to the publishers' concerns and challenges, with a lot of visits, either with Margaret Lim herself as a chairman, or myself, as well as Margaret Aoyong, who is the audit committee head, and sometimes Shireen Ma, who is the membership head. So we have done rounds and rounds and rounds of visits just to make sure that, hey, we are here for you, we're not against you. Because at the end of the day, ABC will not exist if the publishers weren't around anymore. So as simple as that, right? So there's no other way but to make sure that we come together as an industry to work things out, and for the industry to flourish and move forward. So that's basically how the whole thing started. And so under Margaret Lim's 1-year term, we managed to try to get ABC back from red to black. As an association, everyone knows it's how difficult to survive, purely just rely on subscription and no other forms of income. But we tried our best to come up with a lot of other avenues, such as workshops, which main objective is actually to raise the level of marketing professionalism, but at the same time, try to roll us some money so that we can continue to carry on our mission with the funds that we have. There's so many things we can do under ABC. It's just that our hands are so tight. Just for your information, other ABC countries has a full-time executive board running it, like a real company. But in Malaysia, we just doesn't have that luxury of doing this. And everyone, I really appreciated all their effort because we are all serving the industry on a voluntarily basis. And for them to fork out this amount of time and effort and commitment, one at a leadership role would need to certainly energize the team with something really ambitious. Hopefully that they think back and say that it is such a lofty goal that we have set ourselves and work towards with, and feel proud and think that this is the legacy that they can live with the future generation. So a lot of people ask me, how did you find time for all this? Honestly, it is a challenge. Of course, I have to prioritize anything that my current formal role as a media manager for Unilever has to come first. And then I do spend a lot of my personal time on doing all this industry work. So what motivates me actually to continue to push myself as well as the current board members was the value, the universal principles of integrity as well as respect, honesty and transparency. All these are some of the values that I really love to have and is practicing, and especially something that Unilever is very close to the heart of advocating. So these are some of the things that I thought, hey, it is such a common values that we're advocating across, which I don't see any sense of not doing this correctly as well as for the industry. So I understand how Malaysia works. You know, we often take shortcuts, cutting corners due to certain circumstances. But ask yourself, is this going to be sustainable? It might not be. Sooner or later, someone will discover something that we have done wrong. Yes, we're all human, we make mistakes. But if you make a mistake when you know it's not right, then it's something really out of your conscience. So this is something that I've been telling myself, no one will win except integrity and respect. That's why things has been moving forward. And of course, at a leadership role, you need to lead with confidence. Otherwise, nothing will get moved on. So that's very much about the experiences that I have with ABC and so on and so forth. But what very importantly as an advertiser, I'm still working as a media manager for Unilever. There's so many things I've learned about, and I think it is so important that all the advertisers understood and got the same information that I have at this point of time to make sound media buying decision. Planning as well, because it all comes hand in hand. So if the planning side wasn't done right, you might end up buying the wrong thing. So being at ABC, we are really trying to encourage advertisers as well as the media agencies who play a big role in this. Make sure you all really check thoroughly what are the basis of your recommendation. Especially ABC should be the first point of reference as a base if we do have this number of circulation or number of copies out there first of all to reach the audiences that you really want. Then only you move on and say, okay, I got a good gauge of it. Yes, some titles are a bit more niche and therefore the circulation numbers are a bit lower. It doesn't mean that, you know, bigger numbers will always win, right? So it depends on your target audiences. But first of all, check if these numbers are out there, are real at this point of time. Then you move on to a bit more profile targeting because you want to make sure you are effectively reaching out to the target audience that you want to target. Fine, not a problem. So we're not saying that do away with readership numbers, but we're saying that first you must have your circulation numbers in check, then only you move on to your readership numbers. Then we find that it will be a more comprehensive and robust media planning and buying process. So ABC is going to be so important for our generation and future, for the industry and for everyone in the industry, simply because ABC is chartered to move really fast ahead, leapfrog ahead, not just concentrating on print media, but of course getting inspiration from other countries. We are moving ahead with a lot of other medias like TV, radio, so on and so forth. But very importantly is in the area of digital, where everyone is very concerned about what is going on, which number is real, especially when there are so many sources of information and data. So we aim at being one very independent third party to be able to provide a very comparable sets of data where you can use as your in your media planning and buying. So we have in mid last year when I took over as a chairman of ABC, we already set ourselves a very lofty goal to say that we should be the first in the world, not just Malaysia, but first in the world, to be able to provide a set of common currency across all media and not just print. Because increasingly advertisers are advertising in 360, and very importantly, digital is being a very important component of our media strategy and plan. So we say that for a small country like us, we have not gotten a lot of help from anyone else outside the world. But if we were to make a mark in the world by doing this, I'm sure there will be a lot more supports coming through. So that's something we are really, really excited. Along all the ABCI revamp, revise our 10-year-old audit rules, and give a lot more emphasis on magazines which were felt neglected in the past, so on and so forth. There's so many things that we're doing within a short 1 year term. So we hope really people can, everyone out there could feel the passion that we have, simply because we know how ABC is so important. We are probably one of the association that made up of all the important associations in the industry. So we hope everyone could come forward, start a new chapter, an interesting journey with ABC. Thank you.